For Telstra, get live games, match replays on demand, and exclusive access to ref chat and player info. It's NRL straight in your eyes. Subscribe at nrl.com/digital pass for your free 2-week trial.
Triple M's Grill Team.
Holy crap!
The following program is based on speculation and conjecture. Here we go. Welcome. This is the Triple M Grill Team podcast. Leave a message for the guys at triplem.com.au.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Hump Day. We're halfway there.
One more sleep. That's all I'm excited about.
Yeah, one more. The NRL season kicks off. Big news overnight, of course, once again, is it's intensifying down in the Crimea, where you got the Ukraine there, just about to be invaded by the Russians.
Crimea River.
Yeah, I know. It's like that, isn't it, mate? There'd be a lot of nervous people down there at the moment.
It's a long way away from Australia, but we should care about what's happening in the Ukraine and Russia because Russia's a massive heavyweight and they're not happy with the Ukraine. And the Ukraine look like they're going to fight back, little brother against big brother.
Yeah, well, the Ukraine basically they're split down the middle. A lot of the Ukrainians, they want to buddy up closer to the west, and Russia doesn't seem like it wants to allow them to do that. Now,
they want
on top
the
of that,
Ukraine back, don't they?
Well, what they're saying at the moment is America's saying, you don't go there, and as Putin said many times to America, hang on, you guys interfere all the time, I'll do what I like.
Yeah.
But the real big story this morning, guys, is Gus Wallen, Dennis Roussos wants his shirt back.
Mate, what did I call you this morning at the coffee club?
I walked to the coffee club. You called me that.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what you mean.
Hello, Dennis.
This shirt,
shirt, my friend,
is so comfortable.
Yeah,
it's a linen shirt. I got it from.
It's a tent, mate.
You know what it's called? It's called Relax, and that's exactly what this shirt's about. However, it was big for me when I was fat. And now I'm a bit thinner. It is massive on me, but I'm comfortable.
Mate, honestly, you look like a giant grape. You walked in, people. Let me paint the picture. It's a light lime green. It's not a heavy lime.
Thank you.
It's a light lime green.
It's a mint.
It's like that colour. Do you know when you see people walking around basically in almost Hessian sacks? It's that hash. Remember hash shirts? Gus Wallen this morning, and Gus, we like to take the piss out of you, but, mate, this is serious intervention time. Mate, you look like a rock spider, mate. Honestly, if you walked into a school, mate, they would arrest you.
Don't pick the kids up, the Savo?
Oh, mate.
I agree with Matty, but it looked more like a fat lesbian.
Oh, thank you very much. So I'm a rock spider and a fat lesbian.
Yeah, all in one.
And it's 6 minutes past 6.
Yeah, we've done well.
Any danger of you tipping and helping me out, Rooster, over there?
Well, I thought about dumping it. But
well, talk us through what happened this morning when you got dressed. I'm
going to see the Roosters after. We've got our meeting after the show today. I'm off to see the Chooks. We're going to do a little bit of. I'm going to do some emceeing and stuff at various hospitality stuff during big games this year.
And you've turned up and look like that.
What about a tie and a nice shirt or something?
Oh, well, it's a bit more relaxed at the Chooks, and I thought, well, this is a shirt, but now I realise. I do realise. You're absolutely right.
Well, Nick Politis is Greek, of course, the man who runs the money man of the Roosters.
I'm not meeting with him. Surprise.
Well, you turning up looking like Dennis Roussos, you might get a pay rise.
is this going to affect the odds? We should talk to maybe our friends at Sportsbet or Centrebet or something like that for tomorrow night, because the Roosters are favourite, but
heavy
now,
favourites.
Are they going to run out on Thursday just looking like they've been to war?
I've spoken to the Roosters once before a game, and we put 40 points on the Panthers at Panthers home ground.
Mate,
so I'm 1-0, brother.
Mate, let me tell you something. Mate, you turning up today in that shirt would be the same effect as if Rolf Harris did a talk to the Roosters.
Oh, my goodness, Matty.
I think it's going to be one of those shows.
Yes, with Matty MG and Dennis Roussos this morning with his. But anyway, let's move on from that for a second.
It's hard to, but it's just.
Okay, what do you want me to do? Go change my shirt now?
Well, it looks like when you meet a young lady, she stays at your house, and the next morning she's got nothing to put on, so she puts one of your shirts on.
It does. It's like that movie where you'll see someone come into the kitchen and the woman is wearing the man's shirt.
Yeah,
I love that.
That's
that's you. Hey, guys, something else.
Speaking of big.
Talking about nature. How good's nature? Nature.
Richard Attenborough.
It's fantastic. Mate, what about these photos going around of that snake eating the crocodile?
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
That seems a little weird when a snake is obviously so small, eats such a massive...
It's not a small snake, it's a bloody...
It's a big one.
Yeah, but compared to the crocodile, it was small.
Well, on the 1%ers yesterday, they actually spoke to the bloke who took the photo.
Your mate rings. He says, "You won't believe."
We were off, and I was in suspense, wondering where we were going or what we were going to see. We started heading out to the lake. I made the guess that we were going to see a crocodile because there are a fair few crocs there. You don't see them that often. A crowd of people was standing around the croc and snake when we got there. The snake had just finished off with the croc, and he was getting ready to start eating him.
If you haven't seen this photo yet, by the way, it's on the Grill Team's Facebook page of this snake eating a crocodile.
Everyone has their greatest fears. My greatest fear has been eaten by a snake. 133353. What have you seen a snake eat? I'd love to hear because mate, they can swallow anything.
If my sister's listening, Jodie, up there on the Central Coast, you breed snakes, so give us a call. She has.
I don't understand people.
Has a pet snake in her house. It has for about 15 years. It's got bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, every time I go up there, I said, keep it away.
We had a look at this morning. This is almost the ultimate David versus Goliath, and it made me think. What is it? What could we compare it to? And the only person I could think of, snake eating a crocodile, was if our engineer in there, Snitch, who joins us now. Hey, Snitch, how you doing?
Hey, guys, nice to be here.
Snitch.
Mate, back off.
Mate, if you haven't seen Snitch, he basically looks like an Australian version of Arnold Jackson from Different Strokes. He's a tiny little man, built like a yard of pump water. Anyway.
Sorry, mate, Snitch is 20 years old. He has no idea what that is.
Just ignore that, Snitch. Yeah. Anyway, I reckon it's the equivalent of Snitch taking down MG.
Oh.
So...
Yeah, good luck with that.
We're going to do a little bit of a...
Firstly,
role
if I was
play.
to say to you, Snitch, okay, if MG's coming at you, okay, and you've got to defend yourself and actually beat MG, beat the Goliath, what would you do?
Right, can I preface this with saying that I've never been in a fight in my life before? I know that's probably going to surprise
you. So you haven't had a loss?
I know.
That's
absolutely.
Good.
I'll do the same. I've never been in a fight either.
Sure. Okay.
But you've lost.
Well, you've got glasses on. First thing I do, knock the glasses off.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Get a bit of sand in the eyes.
Sand?
I've got a feeling you watch too much collegiate movies.
So you're hoping this is going to be on a beach?
I would give you a tip. I'd kick me straight in the you-know-where.
No, mate, don't give him any ideas.
No. Actually, do it now. Can you do
we
it now?
meant to do a demonstration? Maybe do that. And then I was going to say go for the neck, but now I'm closer to MG. Maybe not.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The jugular?
Yeah, jugular.
The jugular.
Okay, so it's all of it. So you're thinking testicles onto the jugular.
When can we do this? Can we do this? Can we do this in a minute, in the break?
Well, let's do it now.
Okay.
Okay, right, here we go. Here we go.
Okay, Snitch is 60 kilos on 115 kilo MG.
He's going to pick me up by my leg.
Well, let's see how you go. I really want you to try to take him down. Here we go. Snitch versus MG.
All right.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, shit, he's...
Nah.
Just deal with him.
Just giving him a hug.
Get rid of him.
Wait a second. This is fantastic. I think I saw that in page 25 of the Kama Sutra.
He broke my double plug.
He's broke his thong. Well, 133353. I tell you what have you seen a snake eat? Come on, want to get some calls on this one?
Yeah, because you see them eating dogs and everything overseas, all types of things. What have you seen a snake eat? 133353. Give us a call.
Pretty strong there, Snitchy.
We're talking about this amazing photo. It's on our Facebook page. A snake eating a crocodile.
Yeah, and with MG saying his sister breeds snakes, it reminded me of a friend
She
of
said breeds with snakes.
Yeah. we're the python.
Okay.
There's something not quite right about people who, no offence, but who breed snakes, isn't it?
I'll take it up with her, mate.
One of my daughters went over to a girlfriend's house from school, and I went to pick her up, and the bloke had a snake round his neck when he opened the door, and I'm like,
"Come on, darling,
oh
God,
it was a white snake too. It was really weird." Anyway, I got chatting to him about snakes, and he showed me what he feeds them and all that sort of stuff. Then he told me a story of a snake that he had earlier. I said, "Okay, tell me about it." So he used to let the snake sleep on his bed with him, curled up.
I remember this story.
And I thought, "Oh God, this is a bit weird." And he said one day, I woke up and the snake was head to tail completely straight on the bed. So rather than being curled up.
And he thought the snake was sick.
Thought it must be sick. So he went to the vet and spoke to the vet, and the vet goes, if your snake is from head to toe straight down the bed, the snake is actually sizing you up to see if he can fit you in his mouth. Get rid of the snake immediately. So they did.
Snake soup that night. Wow. Mate, how bad?
How scary.
I can't even look at him.
No. So I know. Every time we feel like we can get you, we get you with a snake, and I know how terrified you are.
It's awful.
Let's go to Steve in St Andrews. Steve, what have you seen a snake eat?
Yeah, boys, I was watching 9MSN this morning, and there's a snake hanging from a pine tree up in Queensland. Smashing back on a possum for lunch.
Oh, an opossum.
Smashing back a possum.
Wow.
Well, they have vermin, I mean, possums.
What do they do? They can dislocate their mouths, their jaws, to be able to get wide enough to fit them
like
in.
a great white shark, they just go whooshka. They can eat small. They've found kids, like anacondas in Africa with kids in their belly.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Fully grown men.
Let's go to Camden and speak to Dave. G'day, Dave.
G'day, guys. How are you?
Yeah, good, champ.
That's good. I saw my snake. I've got 3 pet snakes, and one of them stopped eating its mice and rats for a while, and then it was eyeing off the vacuum cleaner, the tubing that picks up all the dust. I came home and had kind of that halfway down its gut, and had to enjoyably pull that out of its mouth. And
Dave, has one of the snakes ever? Do you ever thought one of the snakes has tried to size you up?
Oh, yeah, possibly. Wouldn't be nice.
No.
No, don't reckon it would be, Dave.
Probably not.
Just quietly, no,
Really,
wouldn't
Dave?
it?
Yeah, you never know. We better take this caller, boys, from Penrith. Of course, MG's ex-girlfriend, Debbie from Penrith.
Good morning, beautiful. How are you, Deb?
Yeah, hello, Four Eyes. How are you? Guys, heard you just talking about what did you see a snake eat? And whoopity-doo, what a coincidence. Last night, out my way, I saw a big buffalo-type creature. yeah, wait for this. Eat a snake whole.
Oh, my
just
God.
Put the mouth around it and just straight down.
Oh, geez, what type of creature was it?
It was called a Deborah.
Oh, Deb. Hey, no, Deb, in all seriousness, what type of snake was it?
It was a one-eyed trouser snake.
Oh, Deb, we've got to go.
I think I'm being too subtle. Okay, let me just spell that for you. It was a penis.
Okay.
I do declare.
Yes, at Grill Team, you can get us on Twitter anytime, and a few have already been coming in this morning. At Miss M. Maggie on Twitter says, check this out. It'd go nicely with the KFC Double Down. Pizza Hut has launched a cheeseburger crust pizza.
How good
which
is
I've got
it?
a photo on there. It is a pizza in the middle, and then about probably the third of the pizza around the outside is little burgers.
You got to go it, Gus. I'll tell you, that's worth breaking the diet for.
No, mate. One of
No,
you
I'll do
two.
it. I'll
MG,
do
you
that.
take it on.
I love pizza. That's my favourite ever food.
Pizza Hut, bring one in, MG. We'll have a crack.
Yeah.
That looks bloody very, very good. I mean, when you hear a cheeseburger pizza, you go,
But- I know, don't you?
But you look at it, I tell you what, that's just a picture. That's the Mona Lisa of food.
That is.
Pizza Hut are the kind of pioneers of doing things with the crust. They muck around
Yeah.
with it a bit with cheese and
I wasn't-
bacon in the crust.
I wasn't
and-
sure about. Remember the time they put one of the pizza organisations put that sausage in the crust? I don't know who was that.
I think that was Pizza Hut as well. The hot dog that would loop all the way around.
That was
I
unnecessary.
think that was Deb from Penrith who done
That was totally unnecessary.
At Joel Day said this, just spotted petrol for 165 cents in Blacktown. It was up to 20 cents cheaper than that just on Sunday.
No, I saw a deer on the way in this morning, 171 along Parramatta Road.
Yeah, and so you're talking, and it was about 150 on the weekend.
Oh, no, I was in the 140s on the weekend because I remember thinking it was under 150 for the first time in a long time. So why can they just up the price whenever they want to?
Because they can.
Maybe there should be
Simple as
some
that.
sort of regulation saying, well, you've got to be within a few cents.
Do you look at the prices before you get to the Bowser?
Not
It's not
normally.
until I get to the Bowser and I pull it out and I look and go,
And by then you think, well,
I'm here.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm here. I may as well. They've got me again.
It is. It's
Do you
unbelievable.
worry about petrol prices, Gus? I mean, you got 12 cars to fill. And the jet. I mean,
it's a different type of fuel for the jet.
What do you have
slightly
for-
different,
what do you have for that?
It's jet fuel.
Yeah, you don't no idea.
It's called jet fuel, you idiot.
It's two-stroke?
No, that's for the lawnmower.
Oh, that's for you in there.
Yeah. We're on
do you
radio
really
pointing towards the bathroom doesn't help anyone.
Once you're there, you just fill up anyway, because, I mean, this is coming from the man who spends 15 minutes walking around the city to find an ATM that won't charge him $2.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's you, Johnsy, isn't it?
You know, look, here's a confession, Wallendy. Here's a confession.
Warlow.
That suits you, actually. Warlow. It's a real mouthful. Here's a confession.
that.
You know the reason why I go is because every time my wife looks at the statement, she goes, "Oh, hang on, you didn't get it out of here at the ANZ. It's cost us $2," and she gives me so much grief that I actually go.
She's
to
got
the
to go,
ATM.
that bird, I tell you.
Oh, mate.
Morning, Trish.
Look how lucky she is.
At Sarah KD has pointed this out to us. The world's oldest person has celebrated her 116th birthday and says the secret is, this is what she says, if you eat and sleep, you will live a long time.
Oh, thanks,
Gus.
thanks, Scoop.
200. Gus, you're going to live to 200, champ.
Especially when you walk around sleeping.
What nationality is she?
I don't know, actually, but most of them are Chinese or Nepalese. A lot of the Nepalese, up in the mountains, they live a long time.
They've got a crazy life, that's why. They eat a bit of rice, sit around.
You want to swap lives with them?
Not that you like to.
I don't want to swap. If I could sit around in a Nepalese mountain eating and just watch, as long as I had foxtail, I'd be happy. Honestly, everything else.
Something tells you might get reception there. It might be crook.
And it's not jet fuel gas; it's AV gas, as Ray from Maryland has pointed out. So
thanks, Ray.
Thank you, Ray. Seems like a fine morning to get out the Wheel of Knobs.
The Grill Team's Wheel of Knobs.
It's a big old. What's the best way? A Ferris wheel, really, now?
Well, it started off as just a little, wheel that they might have at a fair or something like that, but now it's enormous. There's so many knobs.
There's so many knobs out there. So what we decided to do is put every knob that's out there in the world, Australian, international, put them all up, and they've all got a little segment here up on the wheel, and we basically turn the wheel and see who it comes up on, and then we'll talk about them. Okay, boys, all ready to rock and roll?
Yep.
Okay, let's wheel it.
Who wants the honour?
Okay, I'll grab it there, Merrick.
Charlie Pickering, Atomic, Warwick Kappa, Steven Seagal, Kyle Sandilands, Clive Palmer, Nathan Tinkler, Anthony Munday, Darren Lyons, Charlie Pickering, Bernard Tomic, Warwick Kappa, Steven Seagal, Kyle Sandilands, Clive Palmer, Steven Seagal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, big bad Stevie now.
He is a knob, but he's our knob.
Well, you know what Steven Seagal's up to at the moment? Did you hear what he's done? He's weighed in.
Oh, no.
Steven Seagal has actually weighed into to the Ukraine. Now, the Ukraine are in a whole lot of hurt because they've got Big Brother, the Russian bear, just veering down on Vladimir Putin, who's about to invade. They're talking about all sorts of people going in and trying to help, but mate, he's rejected Obama. The British Prime Minister's stepped in. They've told him to back off. It's got to the point now they won't even listen to China. So who's going to step into the breach? Enter Seagal.
Who are you going to call?
This is him on telly.
I just think it's very, very interesting that there's all this, kind of funny stuff happened right before the Olympics,
So why do you think the U.S. is so interested in this part of the world, and what does it stand to gain from getting involved?
I mean, in my opinion, this is European Union. It's pressure that certain entities are getting from the European Union or stuff like that. And it's kind of like if you'll hearken back or go do your homework, you'll see that Margaret Thatcher was, pretty much thrown out of office because she refused, to sort of put, the EU in, European in. And so, I think there's a little bit of that going on here.
I don't think Seagal has a clue, does he?
Oh, no, it's like Dennis Rodman going to North Korea. Like, put them two in a room together and let them try and solve a puzzle.
It's funny because when we interviewed him, mate, he was just he was so clear and he was so good. He was so straight to the point. It's probably one of our best interviews. We had Jean-Claude Van Damme on recently, and we asked him about who his favourite action heroes are, and he said about you, this is what he said about Steve. He goes, I like Steven Seagal. He said, I like him a lot. He's a good guy. And he said he's got great charisma, and he said he's the real deal. Can I ask you, what about you on Jean-Claude Van Damme? Do you feel the same?
I mean, listen, why don't we just talk about maximum conviction and not talk about people so we don't get into those kind of politics?
Oh, yeah.
I have a lot of pride in what I've done.
So, in other words, he hates his guts.
He wasn't a massive fan.
That was bizarre.
Wasn't it?
It was a bizarre interview that day.
If to go back further than that, remember we interviewed Jean-Claude Van Damme, and he was bizarre as well.
It was. Must be something about action heroes.
Yeah.
I reckon you got more idea about the Ukraine than Steven Seagal, Matty. You were actually spent not last Christmas, the Christmas before, right on the border of the Ukraine. What's it actually like? What are the people like?
Well, they're pretty. The difference between Hungary and Ukraine's pretty stark, even though they're close. Most Hungarians can speak English, where most Ukrainians they don't, but it's a pretty heavy place, Gus. If there's anywhere that's used to chaos, it's the Ukraine, just purely where it's positioned. Where we were just over the border in Hungary, and my mate Brian, his dad, Brian Senior, he was saying they have a lot of trouble there with Ukrainian mobsters. Just going in and just crossing over the borders and
your doing what they want.
Your business is going good. We want a bit of money for it. And you've got to remember these countries, they've just come out of communism and they've been knocked for six. Democracy hasn't been good for these countries. Okay. It hasn't worked there because one thing about communism, you never got a 10 out of 10 lifestyle, but a lot of people, once democracy hits, you're getting 0 out of 10. But, there is a lot going on. I mean, incidentally, with the European Union, he's right there, Segal. It's a lot to do with the European Union, Ukraine trying to get involved. Incidentally, at the moment, as we speak, the UK are actually, England are having serious talks about getting out of the European Union. So Europe's in a very difficult position.
And we've got that the heavyweight boxing bout due soon with our own Alex Leopold from Queensland against the big Klitschko brother.
Yeah,
who's weighing into the debate as well.
Well, he's a politician in the Ukraine, isn't he?
Well, he's a politician. He's the one that he said, I'll stand up to Putin.
Yeah.
Now
he said that overnight. He said, Putin, you can go back and look after Russia. I'll look after the Ukraine. I mean,
we mightn't see him tomorrow.
Could he have some sort of training accident?
Well, I'll say this for Vitaly Klitschko. Coming up against Vladimir Putin is not so much like coming up against Mike Tyson. It's more like coming up against 200 Mike Tysons carrying knives.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, on the front page of the paper today, boys, the Telegraph seems to be having a real fair go at giving a fair go to the West. This started about 6 months ago with John Lehman, the editor-at-large, and the front page of today's paper says basically Western Express. Sydney's heartland outstrips CBD in economic growth. The Western Sydney economy is growing at a stronger pace than the whole of Greater Sydney combined. Areas of Western Sydney grew 6.8% last year. In comparison, the Sydney CBD only managed the growth of 1%. The same report shows if we put a second airport at Badgerys Creek, it would supercharge growth across the entire Sydney and provide an influx of jobs to Western Sydney. I must confess, I haven't really spoken about the second airport on this show, and I really hasn't really been brought up before, but I'm all for it. I think it'd be a great thing for our economy out there. I think it'd be a great thing for jobs for the kids in the Western suburbs.
How far is Badgerys Creek from where you are, MJ?
Oh, about 20k.
20k?
About 20k.
Okay, what would that do to the house prices in and around your area if you're so close to an airport?
Yeah, it would double.
No wonder you're bloody happy about it.
Well, apparently some would, some wouldn't, I suppose, Gus. I mean,
it depends where. If you're in a real fly over, that fly zone, then you probably got too much noise to make too much day.
Put it this way: anybody, I suppose, west of Strathfield, if they've got to go to the airport at 7 o'clock in the morning for a flight, they've got to leave at 4 in the morning to beat all the traffic.
It'd be so many spin-offs. It'd be jobs, MG. It would be so much easier access to the city because they would make it worth their while. So people flying from overseas, I don't know, they've always talked about high-speed trains, whether that would be the catalyst to put it in place.
That's the only thing you could do.
I don't know what it would be, but it would certainly be they'd be doing something with the roads. But
the West get a bit of a leg up, don't they? I mean, everything's pushed towards the West. What about the poor East and the South and the North? I mean, how big's your economy? How many people are pushing things out west?
Well,
you're getting a fair go, you Westies.
Last year, Western Sydney grew by 6.8%. That's why they're putting things out there.
You're already grown. Do any danger of other parts of the city getting a bit of a go?
Well, you can if you have a dig.
Have a dig? You're just getting it handballed to you.
No, we're actually building things. We're building stuff out there for kids and to start working in, like Packer's building a big...
Yeah, why doesn't Packer look after other parts of the city?
He looks after the Roosters, don't worry.
Gus, what about... you've pushed to get the second airport at Elanora Heights so you can someone to put your jets...
But it just makes it easier.
And look, continue this debate on our Facebook page. Just basically a question to the people of Western Sydney. What do you really think about a second airport in Badgerys Creek? And we'll go to a caller who's just buzzed. Richie from Richmond. G'day, mate. What do you think?
MG, it is a no-brainer, mate. It'd be a $15 billion injection to the outer west here. There's 3 million of us to live out here. We are the heart and soul of Sydney. Without us, pretty much New South Wales would crash. We need it. We deserve it. It's a no-brainer, boys.
And Richie, you're included in this, is it a necessity? Given the fact that there's so much space being not used at Mascot, is it a necessity? Do we really need it?
Mate, we've been talking about it for 30 years.
I know, that's
so
right. Surely if it was a necessity to be done.
Yeah, I think it's bureaucratic. Like the Premier at the time, I don't think Barry O'Farrell's a fan of it. And I think premiers in years gone by have ummed and ahed because of their constituents and whether they want it or not. Well,
someone's got to go bang.
Ask
We're
the people.
doing it.
Ask the people. Have a vote. Ask the people of
They've
Western
been
City.
procrastinating, boys, for years and years and years, 30 years of this.
Yep.
Somebody's just got to get the kahunas, put the cash on the table and go, let's roll.
Well, I think that's half the problem, Richie. We haven't got the cash on the table. And we did have a vote for it, MG, because Barry O'Farrell said he didn't want it, and he got voted in. I think Labor got 9 seats out of 100. So at the end of the day, what he stood for stood. So maybe that's what people really want.
The Grill Team's Sports All In.
The Mazda BT50 Utes. More power, more features, more value. See your Mazda dealer today.
Sorry, Matty, all yours.
Full start. Look, I've spoken about this just a couple of days now before the NRL, and I've said before there is a halves crisis in the NRL. There is such a shortage, and I've actually joined Bob Fulton to sit down before last year with the NRL to explain how alarming the drop-off is in the halves coming through and the shortcomings in our junior football rules and our coaching methods, which has led to this. I'll get to that another time, but this weekend, let's have a look at some of the outside backs who are playing in the halves this weekend. Josh Hoffman is at the Broncos. Jack Whiten in the halves at the Raiders. Corey Norman at the Eels. Dylan Walker has been moved into the halves at South. Now, here's some of the players who left our shores years ago to play in the UK Super League, some of which really struggled over there and have been brought back urgently because of the shortage. Daniel Holdsworth at the Sharks. Michael Dobson playing in the halves at the Knights. And Michael Witt, who, look, Witty, he really struggled at the London Broncos. He's playing halfback this weekend for the Dragons.
2,000 days since he's played first grade.
Other ones who had caught my eye, Braithen Astor, who is clearly a back rower these days, back at 5'8" this weekend for the Tigers, and Ben Roberts, who has never found consistency in his career, is playing halfback for the Storm this weekend. I tell you, the difference between being in the bottom four and the top four is very often the quality of halves. And if your side struggles this year, I can tell you, it may have to do with the quality of halves.
Yeah, just on that, just quickly, I think if we had one rule change in our game, we'd see a lot more presence from our 6 and our 7. And that's by cutting the interchange from 10 to 6.
And it starts way back in juniors.
In juniors,
football.
I know.
It's got to be quick.
Dave Warner, boys, is the best and most exciting opening batsman in the world, and I think the finest that I've ever seen. Strike rate, boundary hitting was always there, but he's added to his game consistency. Back-to-back hundreds in this test match, another one overnight. The most runs ever in a 3-match series against South Africa. He scored 543 runs coming off the back of a pretty decent Ashes series at home. Forget the fact that he runs his mouth off. He's soon to be married and a father for the first time coming up as well. This has all happened over in the last couple of days. Maturity will only add to his stardom, and I reckon he is the real deal. Who plays 2020, one-dayers, and test matches.
Isn't it good?
He's a gun.
He could play baseball too over in America.
He can do whatever he wants.
He hit a shot last night. It was just like a baseball shot. Bang, just straight over Cow's corner. But the other, mate, look, the thing about it is, with Warner, he was chirping. He was giving it to South Africa's sledgehammer last night. Remember, like 12 months ago, he put one on Joe Root's chin, and all of a sudden, he was the Antichrist.
Yeah.
Mate.
Not so much anymore.
Bring it on.
That psychological edge he gives as well. You almost, and I use the word almost, felt sorry for Dale Steyn when David Warner was just tormenting him.
Nowhere near almost, mate.
No, not
Nowhere
at all.
near.
Okay, just checking.
Well, it all starts tomorrow night with a blockbuster, the Rabbitohs v Roosters, boys, but it's time to put our kahunas on the line, and I want a nomination of who's going to win the comp and who is going to get the dreaded wooden spoon. I will start us off. I think the Cowboys will be thereabouts. I think the Warriors will be thereabouts, but I think the Roosters will be the first team to go back-to-back since the Broncos in 92-93. I think the wooden spoon will go to the Canberra Raiders.
I think the South Sydney Rabbitohs will win it for the first time since 1971. There's certain things about their style of football that they don't so much have to get better at. They need to change completely. That's brought them undone.
And
in
maybe
the final
John Sutton
series.
being lock will do that.
It'll be a contributing factor. And the wooden spoon, look, for the Dragons to do anything this year, Dugan's got to have a Dally M type year. He's out for the first number of weeks. Going to be a lot of pressure on the coach. I think the Dragons.
I think the Roosters will win, and I think the Tigers will come last.
I was going to do a drum roll for who you thought might win, keep everyone in suspense. So
let's
going
just
with the Roosters.
keep it simple. I think the other two idiots probably have more clue.
The Grill Team's Amnesia. Men of Australia, if you don't know where to find a dipstick, you might be suffering from amnesia. Watch A&E, the cure for amnesia. Only on Foxtel.
Yeah, hence the sad music, Amnesia, not a happy condition. You've forgotten how to be a man. The A&E channel have come up with this, and we're going to try to cure a little bit of it. Friday morning at Collaroy, setting the world record for the most blokes going commando in one place, and there's $1,000 up for grabs if you show out show up without your undies on Friday.
Yeah.
What's the buzz like around Collaroy?
There's a real vibe happening. People are talking about it far. People are going to travel from far and wide to be there.
Like
Narrabeen and DY. There is a real vibe, and no one's more excited than I am that it's going to be at Collaroy, just for the fact that it's 30 seconds from a house.
Are we having our pre-show meeting in your house?
Yeah, we are. So what I'm going to do is, I hear you knocking on the door, I'll climb out of bed.
That's beautiful.
So what about you? Are you far from it?
The only chance I'll ever get to go to your house when you're actually there.
That's not...
Because normally I only see...
Yeah, we don't get invitations.
Boys, but there's someone else. There's someone else apart from Gus that I'm worried about as far as Amnesia is concerned, and it's got to do with. I mean, when you think of Amnesia, you just think of Woody, don't you? Here he is. Woody actually suffers from a number of conditions. One is repheritis, and also Amnesia.
By the way, Woody, you are one of our favourite producers. You're a touch judge in the NRL. Have you got a first grade game this weekend, or have you been pushed down to Holden Cup or New South Wales Cup?
That is a loaded question, Gus. You know that the response is no. I'm not. I'm actually. I'm doing a Wyong Roos game at Morrie Brune Oval at Campbell on Saturday.
You've seriously dropped this season.
You know what? You put so much time into this show.
Yeah. Well, it'd be good if we could get some positives.
Well, I'll tell you what. Woody, I just want to bring something up with you. I love you, mate. I'm probably the one bloke that sticks up for you here.
Thank you, mate.
In front of you. I'll give it to you behind your back. But anyway, mate, the beer fridge here, which we're lucky to have in there, that Pagey uses most mornings. Mate, I opened it up the other day just to have a cold one, and I went in there, and, mate, there's just masses of packets of these snack bite apples. Now, Champion... Now, there's two fridges on this floor that you can use, that all the ladies use to put their tofu in and things like that. Mate, I'm pretty sure that these snack bite apple pieces don't belong in our beer fridge, mate.
Well, the thing is, the beer fridge is like about a metre away from where I sit and we all sit, and it's so much easier for me to go to. So I go down to Coles, I buy these sliced apples. They're in packages. I put them into the beer fridge. I know you guys got an issue with it.
How many of them do you eat a day?
I eat about 3 or 4 of these a day.
As Matty said, within sort of 20 metres, there's 2 other fridges. Could you use those, please? Where the tofu and blah, blah, blah goes, and leave our beer fridge alone.
See, I'm all for refrigeration. I've got no problem with refrigeration. In fact, I think apples are delicious coming out of it, particularly the green ones, the Granny Smiths that you have. But... mate, not in the beer fridge. There is a difference with the beer fridge. The beer fridge needs to be at a lower temperature, and I don't think any food at all, in my opinion, boys, belongs in a beer fridge.
Yeah, you got Amnesia. There's no doubt, Woody. Let's throw it open on 133353.
When do you have Amnesia? Like, what do you put in a beer fridge that would give you Amnesia? Can you put wine in a beer fridge?
I'm fine with wine. I'm fine with alcohol.
What about the meat from a barbecue?
Anything that goes in the barbecue, MG, I'm sweet with as well.
Well,
tofu.
You could say you have apples on a barbecue.
Yeah, tofu.
But who puts an apple on a barbecue?
I put pineapple on a barbecue.
It's not apple though, is it, mate?
It's similar.
You're an idiot,
mate.
133353.
If I put tofu on a barbecue, so there you go.
Yeah, nah.
You're blurring the lines, mate.
Traditional food that goes on a barbecue, not pineapples, apples, and tofu.
This is my gut feel. Vodka, hard spirits, yes, okay. Beer, of course.
Soft drink?
Not soft spirits. No wine, certainly no Moselle, no Bacardi Bruisers, anything like that. In my beer fridge, okay, it's beer and hard spirits.
Well, so I don't have a beer fridge, but my man's beer fridge has got all that. Beer, wine, soft drink for the kids when we come over, and it's a perfect beer fridge, in my opinion.
You know what? It's not a beer fridge as such. It's actually a fridge.
It's a man's fridge.
It's a man's fridge for functions. It's a functions fridge.
No. See, now who's got Amnesia?
That's what
There's
it is.
no such thing as a function fridge.
It's the fridge you go to when you're having a function.
It's a get over.
We're taking your calls 133353, effectively on the rules of the beer fridge and what can and can't go in it. Where is the line? Men of Australia, if you don't know the difference between a handsaw and a bandsaw, you might be suffering from Amnesia. Watch A&E, the cure for Amnesia, only on Foxtel.
What is the difference between a handsaw and a bandsaw?
Oh, I don't know. I've got Amnesia. You're looking at the wrong person.
You've got
I'll put a step into the boots there, guys.
MG doesn't even have a beer fridge. That's Amnesia.
I just think I don't want to.
101.
I want to be responsible around the kids. That's
handsaw, mate, manual. You got to get there. You got to Davy Crockett style.
Yes,
handsaw, bandsaw. When you
okay.
Yeah. I do it all the time, every day, guys.
Just when you're changing tyres,
you know. Can you even change a light bulb?
Well,
depends.
Yes.
Only the screw in though, right? Not the clicky ones.
Not the clicky ones.
Can you drive a manual car, Matthew?
No, I can't. Can I change the tyre? No, I can't.
Okay, there you go. Magnesia. What sort of stuff can you put in your beer fridge?
Woody puts apples.
And what sort of stuff can't you? Woody, our producer, who's an idiot.
Who is a non-drinker?
Well, the simple fact is that you go down to Coles and buy apples that are already sliced up. That's Magnesia 101. Then you put them in our beer fridge, which is also another unmanly thing to do.
I suggest tomorrow we should do real men buy apple slices.
No,
or you just go to an apple tree and just say thank you.
Thank you very much, Adam and Eve.
Lean over the
George
fence.
Washington.
Andy, how are you, champion? What sort of stuff do you put in your beer fridge?
Mate, I think you can put in anything that's a snack that you might want to eat while you're drinking your beer.
Well,
like an
apple slices.
Such as?
Oh, you can have a carton of eggs, a loaf of bread, block of cheese, some pickled onions, anything you might want to eat out in the shed while you're still working on the car.
Goodbye.
Anti-pasta, like some anti-pasta, olives and stuff. Can you have that in the fridge?
Do you want to take your skirt off over there? Anti-pasta, no beer fridge, man?
Well, Andy from Wimberall's just absolutely disgraced himself. Con from Breakfast Point. Hey, Con, how you doing?
Good fellas, how are you?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Come on, set the record straight.
Okay, you can put your barbecue meats like steaks and sausages.
Yeah.
Right, and you can put soft drinks, but they've got to be canned. None of this 2-litre bottle stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
It takes too much space
put 'em
up,
canned.
That's one of the things, Con. You put too much of the soft drink in, and it doesn't cool the beer properly.
Well, you don't want the kids to have more than one can, maybe 2 cans if it's a big function. So just like a 12-pack of mixed passiona, lemon.
Functions. What are these functions you're having?
You can have a barbecue function.
No, you have it's called a get-together
Can I
in
just
our
say
world.
something? There's another man. Real men don't call barbecues functions.
And
like, what do you wear, a top hat and tails there?
Can I say another
No,
one?
I don't, but my servants do.
Real men call Grant, not Grant.
Yeah, and
Timmy Grant.
Yeah, well, okay, let's go to Stephen Colby. Steve-o.
Yeah, how you going?
What's your take on this?
I reckon you got to definitely have your beer fridge.
Yeah.
There's the beer fridge in the garage. Then I have a 3-door fridge in the games room, which you can have all your spirits and beer as well. And then you have your barbecue fridge, which has the bit of meat maybe for the barbie and the onions and beer.
How many wives you got, Steve?
Just the one, mate.
You got 4 fridges, Steve.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, you got the food fridge in the kitchen.
I say, hail, Steve. We're not worthy.
Mate, when did you leave us battlers
That's a real
behind?
McCoy, Stevie.
Good on you, Steve.
Can we do the show out of Steve's house? Steve, can we come and do the grill team one morning?
He's got 3 fridges full of grog.
Let's go. Where's Colby?
Colby, it's where the Greg Norman Golf Course is, mate, at the back of Quakers Park.
I reckon we should do the grill team out of Steve's place and he can cook us a barbecue with his 4 fridges.
You don't even know where Colby is. What are you going to do?
That's all right. Look at my driver will know where to go.
Get it, Steve-o.
Well, some amazing scenes in South Africa with the second day of the Oscar Pistorius murder trial taking place. First time it's ever been televised live into South African homes. Yesterday, but as we welcome Tommy Steinfurt from the Channel 9 News, he's got the latest update on this trial. Tommy, yesterday Oscar broke down in court, mate. Why?
Look, it seems a bit odd because it was when they were talking about how Reva was killed. Now, of course, that would be upsetting, but we've heard it about 60 or 70 times already throughout the court case, just how he shot her, the screams leading up to it, how many gunshots there'd been. But somehow something in this case set him off, and all of a sudden you looked over and there was Oscar just with tears running down his face. His legal team had to turn around and hand him a white hanky, and he sort of got it together thereafter, but then one of the witnesses lost it as well. It was really a emotion-charged day in court.
Well, I reckon I might break down too, Gus, if it hit me that I might be facing 50 years in jail.
Oh, absolutely right. What about one of the witnesses yesterday, Tom, saying that they heard the women scream? That was a huge part of yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, she's a key witness, this woman. Basically lives around the corner from Oscar, and she said she distinctly heard a woman screaming. She said it was blood curdling. It sounded like it was a woman who feared for her life, and then moments later, 4 gunshots rang out. She said there was a bang, the woman screamed, there was a bit of a pause, and then 3 more shots until there were no more screams. I mean, evidence doesn't get too much more damning than that. But then, in contrast, the defence team tried to argue that Oscar Pistorius, when he screams like a woman.
So, yeah, that was bizarre.
As far as defences go, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's very bizarre.
Of course, because Oscar Pistorius was actually claiming, boys, that he thought it was an intruder. So if you hear a scream and then more shots, then that is pretty damning evidence. Tommy, what's this controversy about the female witness being shown on the 24-hour channel?
Yeah, well, you alluded to it there. It's the first case in South African history where it's been broadcast live around the country. I mean, this has actually been broadcast live around the world for anyone that wants to watch it. But part of the condition of the broadcast is that any witness that comes in there who doesn't want to be filmed, they have the right to say so, and they won't be filmed. But in the end, another cable network over here has basically typed her name into Google, picked up some photos of her on the web and thrown them up on their own broadcast.
Wow.
And tell you what, the judge came in this morning. It was like the school teacher who'd found out the kids had been misbehaving, and she really read the riot act and made sure that if anyone does this again, they will be feeling the full force of the law.
Oh. Unbelievable. We've got some audio here, Tommy. Obviously, Oscar Pistorius has pleaded not guilty to premeditated murder, and Reva's mother, which is Reva's Steenkamp's mother, June, said she wants to know what happened to her beautiful daughter.
This is what she said.
I wanted to see him and him to see me. I just felt that I had to do that. But he didn't look at me or anything. He just walked straight and looked ahead. I'm not a person who hates another person. One has to forgive, and otherwise I will sit with all that anger, and I don't want it to burn me up. It's got to go.
Wow. Yeah, Tommy, you're over in South Africa at the moment, and part of this case, all Oscar Pistorius has got to do is create doubt in the jury. Yeah. Mate, what's the feeling on the streets of South Africa? Is he creating that doubt?
Not really. I'd have to say that probably in South Africa more than any other country, he seems to have already been judged guilty by the public. I'd say that 80% of people here have already put a line through him, and it's already that situation. It doesn't matter whether he's found guilty or not. His reputation is by and large shot in this country. It's pretty awful thing to think that they've all already written it off. But there is that sort of sentiment that I just can't understand. The one thing that seems to get everyone here is if you thought someone was in the house, surely you just say to your partner, the girlfriend that you love, you'd say, quick, hide behind the bed, or just double check that she's okay before you go and poke your head around the corner and fire the weapon. That seems to be the sticking point everyone here doesn't understand.
I think you echo a lot of sentiment, Tommy. We will look forward to your reports tonight on Channel 9 News, mate. Thank you for that.
Pleasure, guys. Cheers.
Only in America, boys. It's a story that's so bizarre, it is hard to believe it's true. A 78-year-old man in Mississippi.
America!
Yeah. He was declared dead by a coroner on Wednesday. Dead, brown bread, all over.
Dead.
But hours later, not 5 minutes, not 10 minutes, not 1 hour, MG, hours later.
That's your biggest fear, isn't it?
As the body was about to be embalmed, so basically it was about to be all over.
Son of a bitch.
A miracle. A man started moving from inside the body bag. Oh, my God. This is his daughter, who was pretty excited with the news.
So it was not my daddy's time. I don't know how much longer he gonna grace us and bless us with his presence, but hallelujah, we thank him right now. Right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Lord.
78 years old. See you later, dead. Everyone hanging around. Poor granddad's dead.
Sydney, dead.
So let's go.
Hours later, he kicks back into life.
See, that's true. Like, mate, you
bitch.
You can imagine maybe 5 or 10 minutes later, but 3 or 4 hours later.
Mate, how many times has that happened in the past?
That's my biggest fear. That is my biggest fear.
Being buried alive.
You don't want to be buried within an hour of actually dying, in inverted commas. Imagine that.
I want to be cremated.
Oh, that way you're just burnt alive.
Yeah.
You know, what is it? Exhumed? Is that what it's called?
Exhumed.
Is that when the person gets buried and then you get dug up again?
Yeah.
They then open up the
coffin,
and there's scratch marks inside the coffin where someone's woken up, just like this bloke. He's woken up
of course,
in the coffin.
Unless they were going to cremate him.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Well, imagine you're in the coffin, you're hearing the
crackle.
The crackle. You're saying, well, I'm about to be cremated or I'm going to hell. One or the other. It's like, Lord Jesus Christ, he's going back to laugh.
Do you think any of our listeners know somebody who's this has happened to?
Or if you've come back from the dead, give us a buzz. 1 333 53. Do you know someone who's died and come back to life.
You've
Or
seen
has
the
it
white
happened
light,
to
baby.
you?
I've seen the white light.
You know, people have been dead maybe on the operating theatre, bang, and they come back to life again. Have they seen the white light? Love to hear from you. 133353. Give us a call.
Has everyone been crowded around Grandpa at home and like that end of a horror movie, just go, back to life?
This goes off through your backbone, the back of your head.
That's the noise they make, apparently.
Yeah,
Is that right?
Yeah, I've been practicing that.
Thank you. Yeah, you've done well, Paige. A 78-year-old man in Mississippi. He was declared dead. He was in the body bag, and then he woke up hours later.
Some bitch.
This was what his daughter said.
So it was not my daddy's time. I don't know how much longer he gonna grace us and bless us with his presence, but hallelujah, we thank him right now. Right now. Thank you.
Hallelujah. Is there an echo in the background? Was that the posse just going?
That was the
"You're
posse.
right on."
Absolutely. Have you died and then come back? Catherine from Belmore. Do you know anyone, or was it you?
No, it wasn't me. It's actually someone my dad knew.
Okay.
She was pronounced dead. She was in her mid-30s, and back in those days, people used to go and steal anything they can to get money back in the 40s and that. Well, the grave diggers actually went back that night, the day she was buried, to steal her rings. So she was apparently very rich.
Right.
Okay.
And when they've gone to take her rings, she's opened her eyes, got up out of the coffin and walked back into town.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
You know what? I think anyone listening to this show right now should honk their horns for people who have come back.
That's a nice touch, MJ.
I'll tell you what.
Honk your horns. Come on.
Nice, MJ.
Apparently, a lot of people in town freaked out when they've seen her.
Well, I reckon they
They're
might.
like, what?
The Walking Dead,
I
Catherine.
thought it
Thank
was
you.
one of those stories where the dwarf's on top of the car
Come on,
with the head
give
on the
it,
stick.
give it a honk, everyone.
Speak to...
Let's honk your horn for everyone who's come back. I've got a few coming up.
All right, mate.
No, but this is a hallelujah shit, man.
That's Paula from Mount Druitt now. Hi, Paula.
Hi, how you going?
Well,
hey,
thank
MG.
you.
Hey, Paula.
Hey,
How
Paula.
are ya?
Good, darling.
Hi, Paula.
Hey, Dante. Okay, what it is was I was in a really bad car accident.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I was T-boned and I was airlifted, but I was actually trapped in the car for like 6 hours.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah, definitely. So I, it wasn't too good, but all my injuries that everybody thought I had died, the ambulance, the helicopter, I got to Westmead within like 3 minutes, and when I got to Westmead, I was all right, and all my injuries was internal, but I had this tiny cross on my forehead. That was the only visual mark that I could.
What?
That
is
like a religious
was an
cross?
actual cross.
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
Oh, Paula.
Yeah.
So,
and my
Hallelujah.
grandmother.
Okay.
Well, my grandmother passed away 6 weeks just before the accident.
oh, there's more. Hang
yeah,
on.
so totally.
She come back?
Yeah, there's definitely a world past us.
Anyone else you know, Paula, that's died and come back?
No.
Well,
Come on, Sydney. Honk your horn for Paula, Sydney. Come on, give it a honk.
Speak to Robert.
Everyone bipping the horn now in traffic, you'll know they're listening
Now,
to Triple M.
I think Paula's about to be trumped by Robert. G'day, Robert.
How you going, mate?
Hey, Robbie.
What happened to you, champ?
I've been a sick puppy all my life, mate. When I was about 18, I drank about 3/4 of a keg of beer, and then started wrestling around with my mates and got hit in the head and knocked out. I woke up 2 weeks later on a life support machine. The first day I got off life support machine, I had the defibrillators and 6 adrenaline shots. In 24 defibrillators and 6 adrenaline shots in the first 24 hours, I just wouldn't stay alive.
How many times did you die?
About 30 sometimes in one day.
Wow.
That's a bad day.
Does that mean you have to honk your horn 30 times for this bloke?
Yeah.
So how are you feeling these days, Robbie?
Still drinking like a fish out of water, mate.
Mate, I'd give up the grog, Robbie.
I was clinically dead 45 minutes before I was 5.
Did you see a light or anything, mate? Like, was there a...
Yeah, every time I seen the light, and it was the bloody doctors torching my eyes.
Jeez.
Well, there you go, Rob. Now, you died 45 times. You and Rove McManus have got something in common. He's died on stage about 100 times.
Well, if you go to the website, you can contact a man who loves to help, Reg Reagan.
Yeah.
Before you go to Reggie Reagan, I've found out your biggest or your youngest fan in Sydney. His name is Nelson Jukes. He's listening to you right now.
Jukesy,
little Nelson. He said he won't let his young bloke won't get out of the car until you finish your little rant with, or Reggie doesn't finish his little rant. So
that's scary.
That is scary.
Because you have listened to today.
G'day, kids. It's your Uncle Reggie. Dear Reg. I'm off to the pub.
G'day, Reg. My name's Dan. My younger brother, Scott's 26 years old, still lives with Mum. Does nothing around home besides bring home chicks all weekend and has his way with them. How do I tell him that he's been disrespectful?
Well. Sounds like Dan's a little jealous because little brother's rooting for Australia.
Dan, my advice is, if your old girl really had an issue with your little brother turning the family house into a brothel, she'd arc up about it. My suspicion is she's loving it, every bit as much as Scotty, or Scotty Too Hottie, as the girls like to call him. I can picture your mum lying in a bed, staring at the ceiling, bored shitless, until around midnight every Saturday she hears that familiar sound of two horny 20-somethings walking up the back steps. She lights up a cigarette, slips off the sports bra, and whispers gently to herself, bingo, she's on. I bet old mum's developing cauliflower ears too. She's so hard pressed up against Scotty's door, taking in all the action, the small talk, the gentle kisses, the clumsy fumblings of declothing one another, the solid 40 minutes of French. Not just heavy petting, people, but the real committed stuff. The kind of French that gave Michael Douglas throat cancer. I can sense your ma lighting a second cigarette now as Scotty finally enters the Garden of Eden. And the smile on your mama's face filling the ultimate pride as Scotty uses his imagination to find position after position until ultimately bringing his lover to a shuddering orgasm. Your mum whispers 3 cheers for Scotty as she darts back to the bedroom before moving to Vantage Point 2, where Scotty habitually shuffles his Madam Butterfly into the shower for a little overtime. Mum starts her own ritual, placing 2 paint tins outside the bathroom window where she stands upon and watches through the steam and lust. She thinks to herself, where does my youngest son find the stamina? She shakes her head, marvelling at the thrust of his stable pelvic movement. Finally, she stubs out her cigarette, climbs off the paint tins and heads back to her bedroom. Satisfied yet sad that she must wait another 7 nights till her body is once again electrified by the tremendous love-making skill and stamina of her youngest stallion, Scotty. As she closes her eyes, she says to the heavens, where did I go wrong with Dan?
Do you reckon that bloke regrets sending that email yet?
There you go, Nelson. Yeah, Nelson, have a good day at school, brother. Boys, I don't know about you, but our kitchen table around dinner time is probably the biggest source of entertainment in the house of that particular day, because that's where most conversation seems to come out of the kids. You know, we're sitting there, we're all together. Really? Last night, Rafferty had a bit of a revelation. She's only almost 7, Raff.
Jeez.
And we were having, what did we have last night? We had a bit of chicken fillet and some veggies and some, that's about it.
Oh, nice. Well done.
Some wine or something?
Is that the break? You're telling us what you ate for dinner?
No. And Raf said, you know, Daddy, that there's a boy at my school who is a vegetarian.
How old is he?
He's in year 5.
Jeez, that's young.
He probably goes along with his mum and dad who are vegetarians.
No, Megan knows his mum, who's a lovely lady, and she said that he just decided about 6 months ago that he didn't want to eat meat or any type of food or animals anymore.
As a 10, 11-year-old, he decided that he was going to be a vegetarian.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty noble type of thing for a little kid to come up with. Well, you know.
It's strange.
Well, it could be considered that.
It'd be funny, you know, I mean, our kids are a lot different to, say, our parents or our grandparents or things like that, given the fact that it'd be interesting to see how kids' reaction if we had chickens and roosters in the backyard or ducks, and all of a sudden you went and got their favourite Daffy and just took its head off,
that's a good
devowed it and then cooked it and put Daffy on the table. That might force them to be a vegetarian.
Well, a lot of kids see these things that are happening. What you mentioned yesterday, Gus, over in Bangkok with the cruelty to the sheep and stuff, and you go, well, I don't want to be part of that.
Well, I tell you what, my young daughter Ella's got nothing like that. She said to me the other day, there's not a part of the pig that I don't find delicious.
She's your daughter.
Wow. She said, just think about it for a moment.
She's addicted to pig.
You've got the pork roast with the crackling, which is delicious.
Yep.
You got to say that. Then you got your bacon, beautiful. Ham is also beautiful. I've got to agree with it.
Pig trotters.
The pig is a very, very delicious animal.
What about the trotters?
Well, you don't eat the trotters, not in Australia, not traditionally.
She said there's not a part of the pig that's not
literally.
delicious. Well, she's saying its bowels are probably not.
Yeah.
In
tail?
Some countries, maybe.
In Yemen, do you know they eat the pig's genitals?
Yeah,
they say
I was waiting for you to come up with something.
That's true. They eat the pig.
There's a shock you've got to the genitals, Matty.
They do that. They say it's an aphrodisiac if you eat the pig's penis.
What does it taste like, the pig's penis?
Chicken. Apparently. I don't know what the pig's been doing with the chicken.
Woody, can we get something in for the show tomorrow? Some pigs, whole fellas?
I've got a segment for the show tomorrow. Let's get Matty Johns a CAT scan, and we'll get a map of his brain that we can put up on the website and see what portion of his brain revolves purely around genitals.
Yeah,
I reckon 90%.
He's got a section of his brain that says old
Have
fellas.
you always been this way, Matty? Have you always gone to the lowest common denominator at all times?
Well, just sick.
Like, at
Just
what
sick.
age did your teacher look at your mum and dad and just shake her head and went, he's just that sort of kid? Was it early
Oh,
doors?
when he was 27.
I don't know. If you read my
autobiography.
things, I haven't got an autobiography. Yeah, won't be bringing out one, by the way. For obvious reasons.
What about school reports?
My school reports was my dear old sister Bede reckons I should have been a priest. It's funny, the same teacher said that
they're a great
Andrew,
judge of character, the
she
Catholics.
said, this is what she said. We went to the parent-teacher interview. We went there, and mum and dad come home laughing, and she said, do you know what? One son's going to be a priest, and the other one will be in jail.
Well, close.
Which one's which?
Well, hey, real close there for a while.
I like the way you tweeted. Your tweet. It's time to check the tweets.
Yes, at Grill Team on Twitter. You can get us about anything at any time, and these ones have been coming in during the show. Got one here from Brad in Layla Park who says, on the new airport proposed for Sydney at Badgerys Creek, I'm not interested in living under a flight path. Pretty certain there'd be no curfew at the new airport because they're really strict with the mascot airport. But one of the things they're saying about Badgerys Creek is you could have 24/7 takeoffs and landings.
Why couldn't we have a curfew if there was a Badgerys Creek airport?
Well, they could, but that's one thing.
So
they're flagging.
I suppose Brad would rather drive 3 hours to get to a 7 o'clock flight in the morning, or I get his grief, and I just think it's time for Western Sydney to have their own airport.
The other option is that we're one of the few airports in the world that has this
curfew.
I mean, the other option is extend the time a little bit and just have the one airport.
Yeah.
I mean,
They'll talk to anyone anywhere near mascot, and you might not get too much support on that. But
no, it's true.
Everyone else.
Come on, it's time to check tweets.
Going here at Louis82. Louis has sent us this now. These surveys come out all the time. This one's found Sydney is the 5th most expensive city in the world. Number 1 is Singapore. Number 2, Paris. Number 3, Oslo. Number 4, Zurich. Number 5, Sydney. I struggle to believe Sydney's only number 5.
Bloody Oslo's high,
I tell you what, I've been to a lot of countries in the world. Sydney's as expensive as any of them. Let me give you the tip. And where did Louis get his information from? Because there seems to be a list coming out every single week about...
every week.
You know, and we're either number 1 or number 30 or whatever. So
I saw a Scottish
I think
guy.
I might know Louis. He's a slight lunatic.
I saw a Scottish guy in the supermarket the other day, and he was bug-eyed.
Was he wearing a kilt?
Was he buying chump?
No,
Was he buying chump?
No, he wasn't buying chump. He wasn't.
It's all chump, you can carve it.
But he came up to me, but he said he was reciting Braveheart over and over. That's the reason I knew he was Scottish. But he came up to me bug-eyed, goes, and I said, "Oh, you're right, mate." He goes, "I cannot believe how expensive it is."
Oh, was he from what? Say that again.
Is that your accent?
No, he was doing Arnold Schwarzenegger. No, he said he couldn't believe how expensive it was. He said, "I cannot believe how
He
expensive."
said, go back to Aberdeen and do your best there, you funny.
Check the tweets.
From at DanBaz41 says, boys, a few months ago I started going out with a professional female bodybuilder. She's pure muscle.
Hello.
I think it's sexy as, but some of my mates have, given me a bit of a hard time, kind of called her a bit of a brute.
I admire the women who look like that, but I couldn't get...
Come on, mate.
I find them way too muscly and way too chunky. No good.
What did you use? What was the word you used in the break?
When we heard
It's funny.
I can't remember. What did I
It
say?
starts with a G.
Yeah.
Gross?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's funny how gross turned into a mire.
I think there's a cut-off limit. I think the ones that are massively...
The one who wins the Australian title, that type of build, could you go out with them?
That's not how they look out of competition. Out of competition, they just look fit. That you wouldn't notice her if she walked down the street.
MG,
I don't think you can go from winning the national title to just looking like a normal girl.
Morning, Megan. Do you find female bodybuilders attractive?
Yeah. No.
What about you, Matty?
No, I don't. No, I must say I don't. Any woman that can deadlift more than me, I'd steer clear of, which is not a lot, by the way.
I'd be scared.
At Grill Team, if you want to get us
What
on
about
Twitter.
you, Paige? Your fiancée, she's not a bodybuilder, is
She's not
she?
a bodybuilder, no.
No.
But do you find them attractive?
Do I find who attractive?
Bodybuilding is...
No.
Do you still find your fiancée attractive?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
MG's Leg Up for Little Leaguers.
Yeah, so leg up for Little Leaguers. MG, tell us about this, brother. It's your baby.
Well, it's no secret we all love everything about sport, and we all love kids who play in Little League teams like footy, netball. But to have any chance of making it in the local competition, kids need the basics. They need safety gear, they need shoes, they need training equipment. Matty, you were after a couple of young...
And
you got it.
Well, I had my first training session yesterday, and I said all I wanted, okay, a little leg up, was a couple of big Samoan front rowers, bit of muscle in the team.
Did you get them?
Well, God answered my prayers.
Oh.
Whilst they're not Samoan, big boys that have joined the team.
Big
So
boppers.
my little boys were very happy to see the big boys, so the God answered my play. Thank you, MG.
No, it's okay. Gussie, did your prayers get answered? You were coaching the netball ladies team. Did you get anything from Amart?
All ugly, unfortunately.
But their team did actually...
Didn't get a decent sword amongst them. You'd think in a team of netballs you'd get one half decent sword, got nothing.
But that team
They're
actually
under nine.
requested a bodyguard to keep Warland away from all their games and other abusive
It
parents.
is hard to coach from 200 metres away.
He's the only coach with an AVO. But anyway.
Is it true? Were you the bloke that groped the girl from Modern Family? Or the woman from Modern Family?
No, that wasn't me.
That's just a rumour.
That's just a rumour.
Someone looks like him. Anyway, without the basics, it can be pretty tough. So we've teamed up with Amart Sports to help give a leg up to some Little League teams around Sydney. If you're involved in a Little League team, maybe you're the club president or the team coach, jump on to triplem.com.au and we'll tell us, and you tell us what your team needs to get a leg up. And your kids' team could win $3,000, and that's $3,000 to spend at Amart Sports. Amart Sports, home of the Triple M Little Leaguers.
You've just heard a Triple M Grill Team podcast. Hear them from 6 to 9 a.m. weekdays on Triple M.
For Telstra, get live games, match replays on demand, and exclusive access to ref chat and player info. It's NRL straight in your eyes. Subscribe at nrl.com/digital pass for your free 2-week trial.